It's Perp back with another video, and I just got done watching Power Season 6 Episode 2, and man, I gotta say, I like this episode more than last week's, to be honest, because a lot of things in last week's episode I was 50-50 on. This episode I'm kind of like 70-30, maybe, but who knows. But anyways, before I get into this review, I would like y'all to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're new. I'm almost at 400, so you know it'd be dope for you to show me that love and follow me on Twitter at PerpMinded. With all that being said, let's get right into this review. So this episode starts off with, Ghost thinking that he killed Tommy, not knowing that he's just out there lurking around. He goes to Jason and tries to work out a deal, saying like, I never meant to kill Tommy, but Jason's a really smart dude. He just plays Ghost and be like, yo, you're just going to pay me X amount of money for the next every 2 weeks, or I'll kill you myself. And speaking of Tommy, he's on the phone with Tyreek just talking about everything, his car being gone, and he even had to catch an Uber, which I found pretty funny. But Tyreek got his own little thing going. I'll get back to that shortly. So Ghost decides to go to Proctor and tell him that he killed Tommy. I don't know why he keeps going to Proctor and telling him everything, but he's kind of freaking out. Meanwhile, Proctor's getting sued, or not sued, he got served, and he has to deal with his own issues with his family. And Tommy's got to figure out what to do with Ghost. In the meantime, he's trying to just pretty much play dead, because if he knows that if Ghost finds out he's still alive, that's gonna start a whole World War III and whatnot. So we get Sergeant Blanco. I finally remembered her name. She's on the hunt to just bring everybody down. So she targets Tasha because she knows Tasha has a connection with Silva, and she just questions her about that to see what she can get out of Tasha. And Tasha's not cracking, and pretty much just slams the door in her face. But that doesn't stop Blanca. She's still on the case. But going to Sax real quick, he's up to his own little plan. He's got his own little plan to take down Ghost and everything by manipulating Angela's sister, because she's grieving right now, and he's kind of just taking advantage of this. It'll be interesting to see what direction this all goes for Angela's sister and just Sax as a whole, because there's some financial issues that she can't get none of Angela's money, so that's kind of a problem for her. And Ghost isn't the only person that Sax is trying to take down. Also, he's trying to get to Proctor by using his wife and kid, and his ex-wife just doesn't really give a shit and wants to see him go down, so she's with it. So we get this scene with Tasha and Ghost. They're about to get a divorce, and Tasha wants half of everything that he got, but it's not going to work out that way since she filed the divorce, and she's got to figure out a different way to get back at Ghost. And Ghost tries to just tell her like, yo, you got to show up to this funeral with me, just so I don't look suspicious going by myself. And I think Tasha somewhat still has a lot of love for Ghost. I'm gonna get back to that shortly. Let's talk about the things I didn't like about this episode. LaKeisha, the dumbest criminal I've ever seen on this show. she's just paranoid, and even Tommy sees this, and I think Tommy's going to realize that this is going to become a problem, and he just questions where her loyalty is at. And then we get reintroduced to Governor Tate, and I feel like this is kind of late in the game, but you gotta finish off this storyline somehow. He's on this whole political run. He wants to run for mayor, and he doesn't want Ghost to mess any of that up, so he hires this guy to follow Ghost around, and it's going to be interesting. I think that's going to end up blowing up in his face. This guy's going to end up possibly dead. Ghost shows up at Tyreek's school, try to just talk to him and let him know that he killed Tommy, and Tyreek knows this bullshit because he just talked to Tommy, and very interesting stuff. Tyreek hops on the phone with Tommy, and he lets him, he just has this conversation about Ghost, and he tells Tommy, if you decide to take him out, just let me know ahead of time. And Tommy's like, of course, because he still has that respect for Tyreek and Tasha and all of them, which is, it's really interesting. And going off of that, even Tasha's kind of contemplating what to do with Ghost, because Tasha still has love for Ghost, and Tommy still looks at Ghost like a brother, even though they're going through this shit. Meanwhile, Angela's sister finds the phone that Tasha and her have been talking through, and she thinks it's Ghost, so she sets up a meeting real fast. But I'll get back to that very shortly. Speaking of Proctor, we get a scene of him and his wife, or his ex-wife or girlfriend, whatever, and they're trying to figure out custody of their child. And this is just all part of Sax's plan to trigger Proctor, but also gives a chance for his ex to pretty much plant this unicorn thing on her daughter's backpack, which is kind of fucked up, and that's going to be interesting to see how that plays a part in all this. But then we get the meetup with Tasha and Angela's sister, and she's surprised that it's not Ghost, and she pretty much, talking about Tasha, pretty much tells her everything, that Angela was helping us and she did me a favor. So Angela's sister's kind of shocked by this and doesn't know really what to do, and Tasha kind of gives her an ultimatum, but before she can even walk off, she gets approached by Blanca and tries to pressure her even more, telling her, your story is not really adding up. So it's going to be interesting to see if Tasha is going to crack under pressure. Who knows? But while this is all going on, Tommy sees a perfect opportunity to take out Ghost. But before he could do that, he gets pretty much thrown in his van and brought to Jason. And Jason pretty much gives Tommy an ultimatum, just like he gave Ghost. And, he's trying to keep his business afloat. And I feel like, he sees Tommy as an asset, but also he's not afraid to kill him off. And Tommy's gotten himself into a lot of shit now. Just don't know how he's gonna get out of it. So we get this really, I thought, interesting scene with Tasha and Ghost, and this is how I've been feeling about Tasha this whole time. Like, you didn't really care about Silva like that. He compared like her liking Silva like she fell in love with Sean and whatnot, and I like that. I'm hoping they could work something out. Hopefully, who knows? It might be too late, and Tasha might flip on Ghost. Who knows? Tyreek also has this new little love interest, which is pretty interesting, and I think for me personally, I think it's a little bit too late this late in the game for a new romance, but who knows? She might end up getting caught up in the crossfire. We're just gonna have to wait and see. So we get to the funeral, but before we get to the funeral, actually, I want to talk about Angela's sister one more time, and it just seems like she's going to side more with Tasha in this whole situation. But yeah, that's my review of this episode 2. Whose side are you on? You know, like I said, I liked a lot of what was shown in this episode. Like I said, I don't like this shit with Tate. I definitely don't like LaKeisha. She definitely has to go. But I think we're going to start seeing a lot of people drop off like flies and start getting killed off immediately. And maybe just help her and Ghost in some type of way. But at the funeral, it's getting kind of awkward because, you know, Ghost showed up and all, you know, the people in Angela's department is there, and they're just kind of all shocked, like he showed his face. But what was the real kicker is when Ghost sees Tommy is alive. So you know what's on right now. And they showed a lot of interesting stuff at the end of this episode. You know, we see where Dre's at. He's still alive, and he's pretty much working for the cops, and he has to testify against the Jimenez. And you know, it's going to be an interesting season, man, because, you know, with Ghost finding out that Tommy's alive, and he even asked Tasha, did you know about this? And she was like, yep. Really, really interesting stuff that they're building up. I think a lot of people are going to start dropping like flies. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below when you get a chance to watch this episode. Give me some of your thoughts, predictions. Just throw them all in the comment section. But until next week, I'll check y'all out later. Peace.
What made that comedian different from that comedian? And it was the strength, the inner strength, the style, the confidence they had, not being afraid to fail. And if I can transcend that to a lot of people, whatever, it might not be comedy, it might be in the workplace, to give them that drive, that's when I ain't scared of you came from. You know, you can't be afraid.